now that we have the tank all set up, guys, let's talk about it a little bit more before we go ahead and put our plants in. So this is a new offering from Current USA, one of the partners of the channel. This is something that they sent me out to see if I like the dimensions and what all comes with it, and so far I'm pretty happy with it. Let me bust out the broken yardstick here and get a measurement for you. So height-wise, we're looking at about 16 inches. Depth-wise, we're looking at 18. And then across, we don't have enough yardstick, but it's looking like it's probably 22 inches. So I think that holds roughly 13 gallons. That's what they say.
No, 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 no.
If you've seen any of my other videos that have to do with Current USA, you know that we have the big Serene aquarium on the other side of the room. So that's a complete kit that you can buy with the stand assembled or not assembled and nothing else like rock and background light and light and things like that, which is actually a really good deal if you're just getting the tank and the knockdown stand. It gets even better when you use my code AQUAPROS for 15% off, and that still applies to this thing too. So this is gonna be a kit. It's already up on their website. I'm working with them to get a specific set of rocks. I'm thinking these exact rocks that you see in here will be included in my own little kit, and maybe that's done already if you go and check out the website, or maybe it's just a few days away. So keep that in mind. But this whole kit, the tank comes with the light, comes with the background light, and a few rocks. Like I said, hopefully this is the little combination that'll be my bundle. All that is only 200 bucks. Something that you might not have picked up on is that these stones are not real dragon stones. So they're resin, they're super lightweight, they have like a little cavity in them that fills up with water. They're obviously not gonna float, and they're just super realistic. So maybe that's something that you're into. I totally understand where people are coming from when they don't wanna use any kind of foam materials. I used to be that guy, and I still kind of am, but this stuff is so realistic, you really can't tell a difference, especially once you get it filled with water. This stuff does turn out to be less expensive than buying real stone, especially if you're having to buy it online, paying for that shipping. So I think it's a pretty good option. So really the only thing that this doesn't come with is like a filter. I think I'm probably gonna use a hang-on back filter or maybe even a smaller canister, not quite sure yet. We'll figure that out today. And then you obviously need some substrate. So I went with the rock and sand combo and kind of blended it together. We had that laying around. You can obviously use whatever you have or whatever you want. It doesn't matter. So for me, I really like this kind of a combo, and I think that it's something that is applicable to a lot of fish keepers out there. You know, it's a little bit easier to access than something like a complete setup on a 4-foot tank. That's obviously a lot more money. All in all, I think this is a really attractive combo. I think it's priced really good, and it's something that I'm proud to put my name behind. I can get behind something like this. So check it out, guys. There's a link in the description, and let's go ahead and let's move on to planting this thing. All right, guys, we just made it to Pisces Aquaria. Let's go in and check it out. So of course I come in on, you know, one of the days where it's like you're getting new plants, but you haven't quite gotten them in yet. So we're gonna see what we can do. But I'm here with Andrew. He's a co-owner of Pisces Aquaria, and I'm sure you just saw some fancy B-roll shots of the store. I think we'll save a proper store walkthrough for another time.
Okay,
buddy.
sounds good.
I have in my pocket. There's actually over there. I have to have you look at this skate, man. And
yeah, sounds good.
Plant selection. So there's the skate.
Little Iwagumi.
What do you think?
How big is this tank here?
So it's 13 gallons. There's a lot of room in there. I tried to move the stones around in a way that you could put some stems behind it.
Yeah, we got some stems for you for sure.
Think. But other than that, I'm just gonna let you kind of do your thing, pick out what you think would be good. Sure. Maybe it's not enough. That's okay. I'll fill in the gaps.
Sure.
So Andrew's got a tray for me. I feel like I feel like you're my butler with the plants.
Here some plants.
Yeah. So we talked about foreground, midground, and background.
Right.
And we have some ideas. So
right. So for the foreground, in the very front of the tank, I'm thinking we might do some crypt parva. It's one of the smallest green crypts out there. and maybe some Liliopsis, which is a lower light necessary carpeting plant that can grow in sand pretty well, no problems there. And then for the mid-ground of the tank, we might want to do some moss on the rocks, maybe some Anubias or Buse on the rocks to get some green up on the red part of your design there.
It's got some cool stuff up here. I had to take a take a peek at some of these. These look cool.
So foreground, midground, background, right? So we need some stems in the back of your tank too, I think.
Yeah.
Since you have so much red, maybe more red and then a little green to kind of balance it out, you know?
Okay.
So we got some Rotala OJ. This just came in today, so it's gonna grow up a bit and turn more orange. That's gonna be a good one.
I like it.
And we have this cool Bacopa Salesmania. That's a new plant in the hobby. It gets a little pink purple.
Yeah, I like that coloration.
There's some variants that are very purple, so we'll see what happens in your tank there.
Okay.
And maybe this small Bacopa compact here to keep the straight up and down theme going.
I like it. I like it, man. And they got the stickers. My very first customers. Loving the stickers. You got the hollows as the police roll by. Perfect timing. So I think this video is gonna come out on Saturday, and every weekend we do free holographic stickers. What should we have the free holo be this weekend, guys? I know it's a hard choice.
The new hologrami.
The Holo Honey. Love it. All right, it's in. I might even throw an extra one in there, but I like it. All right, guys, we're back, and we got a bunch of stuff to check out here. So let's take a look at the plants that we ended up getting. So this is a bunch of mini Java ferns. So it's gonna be like your classic Java fern, just a little bit smaller. It doesn't get as big. We also got some needle leaf Java fern that we may or may not use in this tank. And then we got a Pisces Aquaria mug. Let's get this thing out of here. If I can do it one-handed. Almost, there we go. All right, that's upside down. Pretty sweet. Can't wait to put some fish stickers on this thing, make it look real good. And then in our final bag here, we have some fish. I ended up getting 8 golden white cloud minnows to add to the ponds outside. So we'll put probably half of these in the main big pond, which we'll get to eventually here in pond season 4, and we'll put the other 4 in the little pond that's up on the deck. We'll have them sit right there. Should actually go put them in and get them temperature acclimated, but I think we got the last little bag of plants here. So in here we got the Liliopsis and some other things. We got one little pot of Crypt Parva that will hide in there somewhere, probably in the front, and then we got 3 of these Blixa. Can't remember the species name, but they get taller and bigger than normal Blixa. Normal Blixa is usually just a little bit bigger than this, so we'll put that kind of in the mid to backgroundish, and then the Liliopsis is in the back, so we got 3 pots of that. right, guys, so we got the tank all filled up. I left a little bit of a gap here, lower than I usually would, just so I can get my arm in there and move the Java Fern fronds around a little bit, get them exactly where I want them, and we will be filling this thing up all the way here to get that look that I like. But that's pretty much all we need to do. We do need to add a filter, of course. I'm just torn between adding a hang-on back filter or going with the Awaza Filto Smart 60, the little canister filter. I just don't know where I'd put it, because putting it down there and then pumping it all the way up here, I don't know if it has enough power to still be moving water around, so I just don't know. So we'll do that in the next video, along with adding fish and really rounding this thing out. I, of course, added a little bit of Dechlorinator, even though I don't really need to do that because I'm super lucky and have super low levels of chlorine, but I do it from time to time just to be safe, even though we don't have fish or anything, and it's not really a big deal. I think it's an important thing to show that you're doing, just in case somebody's super new and they're watching this and they're curious about that step. So we added the Dechlorinator, and then we of course added some nitrifying bacteria, so that Fritz Turbo Start, just to get some bacteria in here, because everything in here is brand new, right? Except for the plants, but a lot of the plants that we got came straight from the farm and they were grown immersed, so the likelihood of them having enough bacteria to really jumpstart a cycle, I don't think that that's a likely scenario. So we added some bacteria, and that should help our system get established here. Keep in mind though, when you add bacteria and you have nothing going on, you do want to sprinkle in a little bit of fish food from time to time to help that cycle keep going. So we will be doing that as time goes on here, and hopefully we can get some fish pretty soon. But really all I want to say about this is that it's a super simple setup for a beginner, guys. I mean, just the tank, the light, this whole setup is a really good option. I think it's an affordable option, and then, you know, all you need to do is grab some sand or whatever substrate you want, doesn't really matter, and then get yourself a filter. You can just throw a little hang-on back filter on here and you're all ready to go. This setup is a little bit different for me in that we didn't use any kind of active substrate, so the reason why I did that is because I just wanted to try and show off that you don't 100% all the time need to have expensive active substrate to grow plants, so hopefully we can demonstrate that in this tank. This whole premise is supposed to be low tech and easy and pretty affordable, right? I mean, with the whole tank and everything, that's not too bad. The plants in here also weren't super expensive, so we just have Crypt Parva, easy, super slow growing, keep that in mind. The Liliopsis, also supposed to be an easy plant. I haven't grown it in pretty much forever, so I also know that it's a slow growing plant, so this is probably going to be a very stationary scape. The Java Fern, also easy, but also doesn't tend to grow super fast. So hopefully we can maintain this look for a long time with just the Java Fern growing the fastest, because I think those are going to be the fastest growers in here. I don't really know what this bigger Blix is going to do, but I don't know. We'll see what happens. I think it could blend together pretty well and end up looking pretty nice with time. So we just have to figure out what fish we want in here. I kind of think that it's time to do some dwarf cichlids, and I don't know what dwarf cichlids I want. You know, if I want to go and try the Panduros again, or if we want to get into the Episto, Guy Fieri style fish, I don't know. So let me know in the comments below what you'd like to see in here, or what you would put in this tank if it was yours. And don't forget that you can check out this whole tank setup and the rocks and everything at currentusa.com, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next video with the complete setup here. Thanks, guys. We'll see you next time.